Press Box.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Press Box Tailgate Show. I'm your host, Robin Carlin, joined by Denver Post reporters Mike Kliss and Mark Kisla. We are live at Sports Authority Field for the Denver Broncos versus the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Well, guys, the Broncos are coming off of a bye week, and obviously the team didn't play, but they managed to find themselves in the news with the release of longtime kicker Matt Prater. Mike, what do you make of it?
Well, a lot of factors went into it. I think money was probably number one. You know, he's making 2.2 roughly. Coming back, the kid is Brandon McManus is making whatever's left of a prorated minimum salary. So there's a big difference there, probably $1.8 million right there. They like Brandon McManus. And Matt Prater, it got to the point where I'm not sure they could trust him. That he got banged for alcohol a couple times in the last few years. And even though I think he really took care of business here during the 5 weeks he was away, there's a little concern if would he slip up going forward, and then he's out a year. Now you got to go find another kicker, and they kind of like the guy they got. So they made the decision. I was a little surprised because the kid has not kicked anything more than 24 yards right now.
All right, I can that was the intelligent explanation. Yeah. I can explain it in 4 words. I was trying to count. Matt Prater. Oh, it's 5 words.
Okay. Kind of like.
Can I start again? Matt Prater is a knucklehead. So here's the deal.
Yeah, but so is Von Miller.
Okay,
yeah, exactly. And so are some
that's exactly
so's
where
Matt
I'm going to
Russell.
go.
So's Tom Eckert.
Right.
Okay, that's exactly where I'm going to go.
Right.
That's exactly where I'm going to go. If your number 2 overall draft pick messes up and is a knucklehead, you can't afford to cut him. And when it's a kicker, even a Pro Bowl kicker, it's an entirely different thing.
Let me get this straight. It's December. It's 20 degrees out. The playoffs are on the line. The Broncos need home field advantage. They need a 49-yard field goal. You're telling me they're going to trot out Brandon McManus, and that's your guy?
And that's a good football response. But speaking of knuckleheads,
they do think he's going to make it, by the way.
Yeah, they do think he's going to make it. Some knucklehead sports columnists several weeks ago wrote that the Denver Broncos have a recent history of drug problems. Fair or not, I don't care whether you drink. I don't care whether you smoke. But there's been too many instances in the last 18 months where this team has run afoul with the NFL because you're drinking or smoking or you're doing something you're not supposed to, and it finally, Matt Prater was the poor guy that got made the example of.
And there's one more little factor.
Yeah?
He didn't kick very well in the preseason.
He didn't kick very well in the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't remember him having too many chances in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, the Percy Harvin return one to the house. Was that a John Fox called pooch kick?
It was.
It was.
Okay,
it was.
And
they went for two. And they went for two. And they went for two. So he was sick going into that. But there was some question or concern how he would kick coming back because it affected him. The suspension that was hanging over his head affected him in the preseason, and he missed a couple field goals. And so would it affect him as he came back?
Right.
I think there was a little bit of that. Hey,
it's
I don't
a risk.
care what you say, guys. I don't care what you say. It was about money.
Okay.
Period.
Well, they said it was a football decision.
Yeah.
Can you guys please explain to me and to our audience what the heck that means? It was a football decision?
It was the football decision is they could no longer trust Matt Prater because he wasn't worth the money or the trouble.
Okay.
And you can say money's first because money is first. If we're in America, of course money is first.
By definition, football decision means you think you can win and you're going to be a better team with Brandon McManus going forward than Matt Prater.
And that's unless you think Matt Prater.
That is up for debate, and here we are.
Yeah, and we're arguing about it. Unless you think Matt Prater has a problem with alcohol, that is flat out crazy.
Yeah.
The man was the best kicker in the NFL a year ago.
Yeah.
He kicked a 64-yard field goal. A football decision means you think Matt Prater is a knucklehead and not worth the money.
Has he been picked up yet? I haven't checked today.
Well, he's suspended till through
Monday.
Through this week. He can be.
You mentioned some teams that
he's
you
reactivated on Tuesday.
You mentioned some teams you thought should pick him up. Who are those?
Yeah, Philadelphia. All the teams that are struggling. Cincinnati's kicker, Mike Nugent's struggling. New Orleans, they got Shane Graham, who's bounced around everywhere the last 5-6 years, and he's about 40. He's up there in the upper 30s. Philadelphia, Jacksonville's kicker. Tampa Bay, Miami, you know, there's a lot of teams struggling. And they got a lot of interest. I talked to his agent last night. He's got a lot of interest. But all these teams, I think, are doing their homework on Prater. And then they're going to wait to see what happens today.
Something shiny apparently went by.
Or Monday, yeah. Today or Monday. See how their kickers perform this weekend. And Matt Prater may be employed by Tuesday, or he may be brought in for workout on Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right, really quickly,
I
know
would
that
trust this guy with my life. Matt Prater to be reliable kicker, not so much.
He could probably kick a 24-yarder. What do you think?
Can you make a 24-yard field goal? Yeah, baby.
All right, I was just going
Sign him
to
up.
say really quickly, Pat Bolin was present at the team photo yesterday. That's got to be a good thing, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's got Alzheimer's, and that's a tough disease. But you know, you still carry on with life with Alzheimer's, and hopefully they'll come on with a remedy, a cure, some type of medicine, whatever it is, because it's destroyed a lot of families. It's just not about the victim with the disease, but the caretakers also.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick break.
Good job, buddy.
Looking for wheels, we've got the best deals. If you need to sell, you'll do well at ColoradoDrives.com. ColoradoDrives.com.
Wandering out into this great unknown, and when it's done, believe that I will yell it from that mountain.
Find summer. Chevy Summer Drive. It's the Chevy Summer Drive. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus a total value of $4,000 on this 2014 Silverado All-Star Edition and make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're joined by Troy Rink. Well, guys, the Broncos are facing the undefeated Arizona Cardinals, have the #1 ranked defense. Are they the real deal? I mean, Vegas apparently doesn't think so. The Broncos are 7.5-point favorites. What do you make of it, Troy?
Well, don't sleep on Arizona's defense. They blitz more than any team in the NFC. They blitz even against packages where it says they shouldn't blitz. They're going to get pressure on Peyton Manning today. And we've seen in the past when Peyton gets pressured, like Seattle, like the Colts last year, those are problematic games for him. But I expect him to pass more, put Virgil Green in as an extra tight end.
Oh, thank God Virgil Green's back.
Still have 3 guys in routes. This is going to be a pass-heavy game, Mark. I don't even know why you'd bother to run against this rush defense. Just do what you do best. Circle back to the run in a couple of weeks.
It's well documented Arizona has lost key defensive personnel since a year ago. And so I'm not here to tell you that Arizona's talent is anywhere close to Seattle's defensive talent. But the stats say this. They're very good against the run, and the personnel says they have 2 cover corners that can walk up to the line of scrimmage and force Denver's offense out of its rhythm. If styles make fights, the Cardinals are for real, and they play a type of defense that can drive Peyton Manning crazy. Now, against that blitz, Peyton Manning might pick them apart.
Are they going to rush 5? Is that?
They don't even have to rush. They'll rush 5 at times, but they're good enough to stay back and cover, and they're also good enough to blitz. That's why they're so good. They don't have to blitz to get pressure, but it's surprised people because, as Mark said, they've lost 2 of their best defensive players to suspension. Abraham had a concussion. He's out. I think this is the first game that Denver can win ugly. We've talked about it before, Mark.
Yeah, I hope
when
they
is,
can.
When is the
right.
last time the Broncos won when Peyton Manning didn't play well?
Right.
I would suggest never. And they're going to have a game where they win ugly. Maybe he has 2 picks and throws for 311 yards, and there's a couple ugly picks, but they win 20-17. They haven't won a game like that.
Peyton Manning knows his Arizona coaching staff well.
Right.
I think this is currently, for the moment, the most underrated coaching staff in the NFL. And they're going to have a plan against Peyton Manning. We'll see if it works. I think most people in Denver think Arizona Cardinals and go, yeah, that's a joke of a franchise. Right. I don't think this is a joke of a team.
Well, they're undefeated. They've beaten some 3 really good teams.
I think they're a very good football team, and I think this is probably the second best football team the Broncos have played this season.
Then
next to
why are
Seattle.
the Broncos a 7.5-point favorites?
Because they're home.
Because they're home.
If they're on the road, I think
They're
they
coming
lose
off
this
of
game.
a tough loss.
And because we see a lot of people dressed in orange walking through this parking lot, some of them wager, and some of them think Arizona and think pushover, so they put their money down. They put their money down, and there's a touchdown point spread.
Okay, you mentioned the cornerbacks. Question for you. Who's a better cornerback, Patrick Peterson or Richard Sherman?
Patrick Peterson.
Why? You said that without any hesitation.
Patrick Peterson is one of my favorite football players in the league. Is he as physical as Richard Sherman? No. Can he cover? Yes. Can he beat you in the return game? Yes. Should the Broncos picked Patrick Peterson instead of Von Miller? Yes. So I say all of that because I'm a big Patrick Peterson fan.
Okay, the Broncos are getting Danny Trevathan back. How does he improve the defense, Troy?
Well, for number one, he's a great tackler. So let's just start with ability. He tackles sideline to sideline. That's
Good.
number one. Secondly, he's a leader. He's a passionate, emotional guy. He makes the calls on defense. Players have the ultimate respect for him. From Von Miller to Chris Harris, they tell me in the huddle, he's the guy that just energizes them and lights that fire. That can't be understated sometimes in the NFL. In a physical game, they're going to be better with him back. And Brandon Marshall played fine,
Yeah.
but now Marshall can play in nickel, and Trevathan can play more. Now, I expect him to ease Trevathan back in. He's not going to play 80 snaps today or 75 snaps, but they're a better team with Trevathan on the field. He was their most underrated player last year, in my opinion.
And if Trevathan's back and he plays a significant amount of time, you're absolutely right, Troy, that it makes it that much more possible for the Broncos to win a 17-14 game, an ugly game.
All right, let's play over-under.
Over-under?
40 yards on the ground.
For the Broncos?
Yeah, well, that's what they did against Seahawks.
Oh, my gosh. If they're not over 40 yards on the ground, they should all go home. I'm going over.
Yeah, it's got to be over. I mean, they could get that in
40?
one run. If they're not over that, that's problematic.
If they're under that, they're losing the game. It's plain and simple. But I like the question, though. It's
Demaryius
awesome.
Thomas, 100 yards.
Over.
I'm going to go over because I think if this game plan is smart by the Denver Broncos, they get the man the ball in a place where he can make plays.
Arizona sacks, 2.5.
Ooh, that's right at the number. That's a good number. I'd say they're going to get 2, so under.
I think it's going to be a tough game for the Broncos, so I'm going to go over. And I think Arizona's defense will rattle Peyton some, and Peyton will also make the Cardinals pay sometimes on the blitz.
All right, we talked about this in the first segment. 40-yard field goal for Brandon McManus, over-under.
Will he make over a 40-yard field goal?
It's not high school. Of course he's going to make it over a 40-yard field goal.
Okay,
At altitude? If he can't, why are we here? Is this a high school game?
I hope
What the heck is this?
the attractive, talented young man does make it over 40 yards. I do, but actually it'll be much juicier if he misses a couple. And then we'll all be going, what the heck are the Broncos doing?
10 carries for Juwan Thompson.
Under. He's not in the game plan that way yet.
No, he's not.
But you want to see more of him. Actually, you wrote
yes.
that you want to see more of him. Now, why is that? Is it because you don't like what you've seen from the other 3 guys, or is it because you've covered him in camp, you've seen him in preseason, and you think there's something special about this guy that the other guys can't do?
I'm not ready to give up on this running game, but I think the running game needs to be tweaked, and I think they should go to a 2-headed monster with 15 carries for Monty Ball and 10 for somebody else, and my choice would be Juwan Thompson.
All right, we'll be right back, guys.
Today's news like never before with the new Denver Post iPad app. Download the app for free and get amazing photo galleries, in-depth sports reports, up-to-the-minute weather, and breaking news stories. The new interactive layout features photos of your favorite teams, celebrities, and images from around the world. Use the free iPad app to follow your favorite comic strips and to access the digital replica edition. Download the Denver Post iPad app today and get free apps for your smartphone and other devices at denverpost.com/mobile.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are joined by the the lovely Kent Summers of the Arizona
Wow.
Republic.
She never says calls me lovely. So,
No one has ever called me lovely.
He's dressed very nice. He stepped up his game. He's not wearing jeans. All right, not a lot of people know about this quarterback, Drew Stanton. Tell us about him and why has he been so effective?
We've all kind of had to learn about him in the last 3 weeks. He, from 2010 until Carson Palmer was hurt in the opener, he didn't throw a pass in a regular season football game. He's a roster. He's a career backup. But he came in. He's been very efficient. He doesn't make mistakes. No interceptions so far. He throws the ball away, avoids sacks. They really couldn't have asked for anything more than what they've gotten from him.
okay, let me ask you this. You come in, you're a career backup. They're going to ask you to manage the game. Can he do more than manage the game now? Can he lead a winning drive when you need it?
We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know if he can do it here.
Okay.
I don't know if he can do it on the road. He was impressive in New York against the Giants, but they haven't been in that position. But
Yep.
it is a team that has outscored the 3 opponents 30-0 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
He's been part of that. We'll see if he can stand the pressure. He's gotten by with some poor choices on balls. Guys have dropped him, etc. But you know, he's not Carson Palmer, but he's been pretty close.
What is it? Do you have an update on Carson Palmer?
Yeah, it's interesting. He actually came to Denver Friday early to see another specialist for a nerve. He's got what he calls a nerve contusion in his arm, and he's been everywhere and seen everything. And I don't know if this is somebody associated with Peyton Manning or what, but he's getting treatment all the time. They say it's not career-threatening, it's not season-threatening, that it just takes time for the nerve to start firing again. But right now, he can't throw the ball more than 10, 15 yards.
Well, that you probably can't get on an NFL field doing that.
Yeah.
This is what I want to know. I don't think most people in Denver believe that the Cardinals are any good, despite the fact that they're 3-0. So, how good are they? I mean, I've bought in. Am I crazy or what?
No, you know, they're good. Look, this is a team that went 10-6 last
Right,
year
in a tough
in
division.
the NFL's toughest division.
Yeah.
It's a team. It was the last team to beat Seattle, in Seattle before they won the Super Bowl. They beat San Francisco. Their 3 opponents this year, after they've played the Cardinals, are 6-0. I mean, they beat the Chargers. The Giants have played better. And, of course, the 49ers are pretty good. They have a very good defense. Their defense is excellent. I'm not sure how they're doing it after all the losses they've sustained. Todd Bowles, their coordinator, does a fabulous job. They'll bring blitzes. He'll do a variety of things, play some exotic coverages. But it's a team. I mean, all the cliches, Bruce Arians rolls out all the cliches, next man up, one game at a time, blah, blah, blah. But these guys really believe it.
Can they be as effective with the pass rush against a Peyton Manning-led team?
I
mean, they were with Phillip Rivers. Can they do that with Peyton
It's
Manning?
going to be hard. The thing this team lacks is an outside pass rusher. They don't have a DeMarcus Ware, a Von Miller. They have to be creative to get the pass rush. What they do have are defensive ends that play over a guard tackle. Calais Campbell is 6'8", an Aurora, Colorado guy.
Yep.
Tommy Kelly, 6'6". Calais Campbell's a real beast in there. If he gets penetration in the middle, it's hard for the quarterback to step up. He's an elite player, should have been in Pro Bowls, has never been a Pro Bowl player before, and they're very good in the secondary, very smart guys back there.
Okay, that's where I want to go with the secondary. Throughout Peyton Manning's history, and since he's been in Denver, if you have 2 corners that can come up and disrupt the rhythm of the wide receiver's route right off the line of scrimmage, I think that's one of the biggest weapons you can use against a Manning offense. Is that the nature of these cornerbacks or not?
Yeah, that's how they're built.
Okay.
You've got Antonio Cromartie, who's 6'2", 6'3", 215 pounds. You've got Patrick Peterson, who's 6 foot, 6'1", 250. They are big, stout guys. They love to get them up on the line of scrimmage. They love to bump receivers. They love to get physical with them, and they'll do some various things too. Their nickel corner isn't bad. They've got another guy, Justin Bethel, who comes off the bench. They're deep at cornerback. They will, because of the way they play, they will take some chances. They will give up some things.
Right.
I mean, they'll give you some opportunities, but it's a really good back end, much better than it was last year.
All right, so you've been at practice all week. What do teams respect about this Broncos team? Is it, the Broncos have been obviously trying to improve on their run game. Is that something that other teams game plan for, or do they just strictly worry about Peyton Manning?
This team game plans run game for everybody. That's their number one thing. They led the league last year in run defense. This year, I think they're 4th or 5th, giving up 70 yards, under 3 yards a carry. They shut the run down on everybody. Seattle, San Francisco, et cetera. So they will do that today. But I think what they really expect are the Broncos to come out and spread them out, 4 or 5 receivers, and try to move the ball that way. And the Broncos won't really concentrate on running the ball that much because it doesn't pay you a lot of dividends to try and do it against this team.
What do you think?
I think that the Broncos are in an uncomfortable situation right now. They really want to establish the run game, but they can't afford to lose a home game now and be 2-2.
The number one defense.
And so I think they kind of have to shelve the learning curve and just try to win this game the best way they know how.
Yeah, you have
and
to be.
Which is in the
You
air.
have to be smart. I mean, good running teams are teams that get a lead early and run the third and fourth quarters. I think that's what they have to try to do today is get a couple scores up, and then maybe they can work on their weaknesses.
There you go.
All right, we'll be right back after this break, guys.
Good job, man.
Welcome back to the show. We're joined by Benjamin Hockman.
Hello, Denver.
All right, well, as we'll do every week on the show, we reached out to you guys on social media to get your Broncos questions. Benjamin, you got some?
I've been tweeting. All right, got some questions for you guys. This is from Chad Christian. He says, is Arizona the closest team to Seattle? Is it good for sharpening skill versus the top-tier smash-mouth defense, Robin?
Well, we talked a little bit about this in an earlier segment, and I think that they are. You know, you guys are saying you think it's gonna be an ugly win, and I know we're gonna get to predictions in the next segment, but I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Really? Okay. And it could be, and I can see how the Broncos do gel. That Demaryius Thomas looks like Demaryius Thomas.
Hopefully.
And Peyton Manning takes advantage of the blitz and makes the Cardinals pay. And the running game gets better. And Danny Trevathan makes the defense more dominant. So I hear your scenario.
And Brandon McManus.
But this is what bugs me.
What do you got?
And it's actually the way your man worded it.
Sure.
Is this a good defense for sharpening the Broncos' skills when we actually have to play a real team like Seattle?
Yeah.
Folks, I think the Arizona Cardinals are a real NFL team, and they're a real good one. It's not sharpening their skills. It's trying to beat a really good football team.
There's no question. I mean, who's lost a game?
Right.
There's 2 teams.
Yeah.
One of them's lost a game.
Well, there's one undefeated team
Right.
in the NFC. It's not the Washington Redskins.
They're making it sound like it's the Ball State Cardinals.
That's right. I was like, what the heck? I think they're a good team. The Broncos are capable of blowing them out, but I don't think they will.
All right, how about this one from John Q. Random Bro, which actually, remember that was what you wanted for Twitter, Mark, and you got stuck with like Mark Kisler because you couldn't get John Q. Random Bro. He says, does Denver focus on Monte Ball and getting him right?
Well, you know, after the Seahawks game, or when Virgil Green went down, there was some saying that the game plan around Virgil Green, he went down and they weren't able to execute their game plan. So let me get this straight. You have a second string tight end that's a blocking tight end for Monte Ball. So I already forgot what the question was.
No.
I just wanted to go off a tangent on that. So Mike,
you know what? You just sounded a lot like me, except you're way better looking. So people will listen to it.
Well, you had a good run, Mark.
how much credence do you put in that?
But you're absolutely right. The second string tight end went down against Seattle, and then they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was all dependent on the second string tight end.
That was it.
Arizona, as we just heard Mr. Summers from the Arizona Republic say, has been really good against the run for a long time.
Right.
I don't think this is the week you get your run game healthy. This is the week you let Peyton Manning say, go do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Really quickly, you had wrote a great article about how you think they should make some changes to the offensive line. So you're saying that's not the week to do that?
I would like to see it done this week. John Fox basically told me, I'll coach the team, Kisla.
Well, obviously he listens because he's playing Juwan Thompson, which
There
clearly
you go.
came from you.
Yeah, clearly.
He's like, we're going with the end. Wait, Kisla wants Thompson?
Okay.
We're on Thompson.
That's exactly how the meeting went.
That's how it goes. Here's one, guys and girls, from Bill Gleason. Bill Gleason kind of has some fun here. He goes, who is going to catch Peyton touchdown number 500 and in which quarter? You got a prediction there?
Oh, first quarter, Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay, Mark Kisla.
First quarter, Julius Thomas, because she's on my, because Julius Thomas is on my daughter's fantasy team.
That's right.
That's all about her.
I'm going first quarter, Mitch Unrein.
Oh, come on.
Is he activated today?
Why don't you go pot roast?
Well, all right. First quarter,
Mitch Unrein,
someone
that's
on
funny.
defense is catching a pass from Payne. They put him in on a short yard situation. We've got a minute left, so let's go to the last question. How long until Matt Prater signs elsewhere? It's from Andrew Poole. I mean, how long do we see him, and do the Broncos possibly face him this season?
Well, we talked about that earlier with Mike Kliss, and, I think his suspension is up after this game, so Monday will be up. Nobody's going to touch him until then, but he mentioned a few teams that are struggling a little bit. He pointed out the Eagles. He pointed out the Saints. He said some other ones. I kind of stopped listening after that. So
I think it's in Kansas City. I'm nervous.
I think it's going to be soon, though. I mean, this is a guy that we all saw what he can do. We all saw what he can do last year, and it's just unfortunate in this league that one year you're setting records and next year you're unemployed.
It's not fair to Matt Prater in the last 15 seconds of this segment. I'm not sure he's going to play for anybody this year.
Wow.
So you think
That's
that
incredible.
he's a liability?
Yeah, well, obviously a Super Bowl contender.
There's got to be something that we don't know, and that's a whole debate for a whole show, another show. But I'll just say I think there's something that we don't know. The Broncos have something we don't. All right, let's wrap it up. We'll get to the next segment. So
all right.
We'll make predictions.
We're going to make predictions.
You're predicting a blowout.
We'll get to that. All right, we'll be right back after this break.
Looking for wheels, we've got the best deals. If you need to sell, you'll do well at ColoradoDrives.com. ColoradoDrives.com.
Wandering out into this great unknown. And when it's done, believe that I will yell it from that mountain.
Find summer. The Chevy Summer Drive. It's the Chevy Summer Drive. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus a total value of $4,000 on this 2014 Silverado All-Star Edition and make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to wrap things up with predictions. Ben.
Is your mom out there? Who are you waving to?
I met a girl last night.
Pretty blonde
she's
over
watching.
there.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I see you. All right, Ben, you're in the hot seat. What's your prediction?
I'm on the hot seat. Everyone's talking about McManus. Oh, can McManus fill the shoes of Prater? It's not going to be an issue today because the Broncos are only going to score touchdowns. 42-21, Denver Broncos. Big win against a pretty good defensive Arizona team.
42-21. Are you going to top that? Or is it, how big a blowout are you talking about, Robin?
I'm going to go 41-10.
Holy
and I'll tell you why. The Broncos have had 2 weeks to think about who they are and what they do good. All right, they're coming off of a tough loss.
Right.
I think Peyton Manning is going to light it up in the air and basically say, hey, don't count us out just yet.
Whoa!
First and foremost, I hope both of you are very right. I really, really do. But I will say this. Mike Kliss wrote about this in the Denver Post today.
There you go.
The Broncos had a bye week once a couple years ago, and then they played the Baltimore Ravens right after a bye week.
I heard about that.
And it was right in there. And how did that turn out? But since we talked about Prater a lot today and McManus a lot today, I'm going, and this is as positive as I can make it.
I can't wait for this.
With 18 seconds left in the game.
Okay.
The Broncos trail 23-21.
Woo, Lordy.
And they have a 47-yard field goal.
Okay.
And your favorite young Bronco, Robin, Brandon McManus or Sean McManus or whatever McManus that is, trots out there for a 47-yard field goal. The kick is up.
So you're saying it's going to be another nail biter like it was against Seattle?
And he makes it! 24-23 Broncos.
McManus! McManus is the McMahon!
I mean, is Hollywood looking for any actors? Because these guys, you know,
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
a drama.
Couple of Clooney's. Couple of Clooney's.
I got Clooney. You have to pick somebody else.
I got Frodo.
All right, so let's talk about the defense really quick. Who's going to step up today? Week 1, it was Raheem Moore. Week 2, it was several guys. I think DeMarcus Ware stood out the most. Week 3 is obviously Von Miller. Who's it going to be today?
Oh, I'm jumping in while Mark dies over here. I'm going with Von Miller again.
So you think he's back?
He's back. Well, I mean, he's not playoff back, but he's going to make a couple important. Okay, he's going to make a couple important plays in today's game, and we'll be talking about him this week. We got 12 seconds, Mark. What do you got?
I got McManus. I tell you, he's good. It's good.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in the show on behalf of Benjamin Hockman, Mark Kliss, Mark Kisla, Mike Kliss, Troy Hawk, and Kent Summers. Thank you so much to lovely Kent Summers. I'm Robin Carlin. Enjoy the game.